G'day guys, X-Ray Racer 1 here with part B of my review of the Rapido Trains 1600 series GMD-1A locomotive. Now this is the part B, which is my final thoughts and the wrap up of the review. And as I said in part A, I'll have this locomotive for a week and I will run it and I will give you my final thoughts. Now when it's uploaded, it'll be pretty much straight after the part A is uploaded, but it's actually been quite more than a week. With the holiday season that had come up, I haven't had a lot of time to do my review, but I did in the meantime get a chance to do a fair bit of running of the locomotive itself, and it's probably been about 2 weeks since I did part A, and to be honest, I'm actually quite happy with this locomotive. I'm quite impressed. After I finished filming part A, I went ahead and I ran it in various speeds in both forward and reverse, and to just break it in or let the gears settle in, and it's actually been really quite a good performer. As you can see here, it's pulling not a large but a decent length mixed freight train here, and it's actually quite a good puller for its size. What it's pulling now isn't really heavy, but I did earlier on, I did some pulling tests with some large or long mixed freight trains with boxcars and so forth, and it pulled it quite well. And if you possibly noticed or remember in part A, I noticed that as it would move along, you would have a tendency to kind of vary in speed. So for instance, I'm running this on speed step 40. Well, technically it's 40% throttle. I'm running it through my Samsung tablet, so it's on 40% throttle, and as you can see, it's continuing to keep its speed constant. But I noticed when I first started running it, as it would go along, it'd go along and speed up, slow down, and so forth. It seemed that it just needed a good run because it was brand new. But like I said, I've run it for about 2 weeks now, and it has not skipped a beat. It has not given me any issues. I did have one thing where some ballast managed to flick its way up into the gears. It was an easy fix. I just got my hobby knife and carefully scooped it out. But apart from that, it's been a really good locomotive. As you can hear, the sound quality is really nice, and I'll play it again. What I'll do is I'll bring it around to the station here and I'll stop it. So I'll just get my tablet here. And I'll play some of the funny Star Trek themed sounds that it's got preloaded in it. So we'll just wait for it to come around. And you'll hear the brakes squeal as I stop. So it's got that little feature. But yeah, it's the sound quality is quite nice. But even the bell. And what I like about that is, as you heard, the bell speeds up to its ringing rhythm, I guess you could say, and then when you turn the bell off, you hear it slow down as it gets quieter. Another thing I noticed too, if you look closely here, with your with other DCC powered locomotives, when you turn the lights on and off, it's instantly on. But if you watch closely, the lights come on and off slowly. And that's a pretty cool feature. So I'll just turn it off. Now what I'll do is I'll put the microphone near it so I can play these other little features. Okay, so function 17.
I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. If I push it any harder, the whole thing will blow.
That's hilarious. Function 16. 18, I think. Nope. 15. And 14, I think. So, as I said in part A, whoever is the owner and manager of Rapido Trains is a bit of a Star Trek fan. And as we look closely at the locomotive, as I showed and said, it's got micro trains couplers on it, front and rear. But I also like the detail parts on it. Like, for instance, you look at the fuel tank here, you got the fuel cap, and other parts of the fuel tank, and even the air tank behind it. Even little details like the rivets and the handrails, things like that. It's really nice. Even if I can get into the light, we look closely here, you can see the seat in the cabin. So if you were wanting to, you could put someone in it. And it's really a nice locomotive. I like the detail. I like the sound quality and the way the sounds work. How the throttle steps, how you can hear the engine power up in between the throttle steps, and yeah. And I have to admit, even though it's not prototypical, not that I really care for that, but I think it's absolutely hilarious. It has those Star Trek sounds. So guys, to wrap this up, would I recommend this locomotive? Yes, I would actually recommend this locomotive. I have not tried it on DC power. However, the instructions do say that it is capable of running on DC power with sound, which is good. I find its finish and running to be very good. So I would recommend this locomotive. The price, I can't remember exactly how much I paid. It was around the $260, $270 Australian dollar mark. And when you think about it, For it to come with micro trains, come with DCC equipped with sound, the detail, I think it's pretty good value for money. So, as I said, I would recommend this locomotive. And for my final score, I will give it a 9.5 out of 10. It almost made a full 10. And to be honest, I reckon if there was a few other little detail bits, it probably would have gotten a full 10 score out of 10. So 9.5 out of 10 is my final score for this locomotive. I think it's a nice locomotive. It runs well. It can pull a decent train. As you can see in the background here, I've got box cars and things like that. It would pull them without any issue whatsoever. So if you have any questions, guys, please don't hesitate to comment down below, and cheers.